Morning, folks. Today we're gonna do some pork butts on the smoker. So I've already taken them out of the packages, patted them dry, and now it's time to, I use mustard and my own homemade seasoning with a little Lowry's. So we'll get started. So first I do is put mustard on them, fairly light. It just is a binder to help the seasonings all stick. We'll get these all seasoned up, and then I'll go out and start the smoker. And I usually run my smoker at about 250. And with these four, it'll usually take like 8-9 hours. And I actually score the fat cap, so that way your seasoning gets down in. Usually I don't trim too much. Most all of it will render down. So I generally start with the bottom side. Fat cap I do next after that. And I usually start with the Lowry's. And I don't know, most people like to put a lot of seasoning on. I like the flavor of the pork and the seasoning and the smoke all to come together. So I don't do it super heavy. And you gotta get into all these little cracks, crevices. I got the Pit Boss grill smoker, and I can fit all four of these on there at one time. And don't ask me what's all in the seasoning, because I start with a general mix, and then when I get low, I start with whatever else that I think that's good and start mixing things together. So I got a mix of all kinds of stuff in here. Usually I go by taste on how I mix my seasoning, what I like. You can put whatever you want. If you just want to go with Lowry's or just salt and pepper or whatever you want to do. You got to get in all the cracks and crevices. And then usually while I'm smoking it, I usually about 3 hours I'll start looking at it. And then I use a 50-50 mix of apple juice and apple cider vinegar to spritz it, to keep it from drying out too much. And that's mainly on the sides. So I usually put these things fat cap up, and then that fat renders down and goes in through the meat. Mustard helps keep it from drying out also. You don't usually ever taste the mustard once it's all gone. So now I'm going to score the fat cap. That way the seasoning, salt, all that get down into it. Otherwise it'll just melt and run off. And then I score it at the crosshatch checkerboard pattern, usually about a 1/2 to 3/4 inch apart. And then that helps when you're going down to the end to peel it apart. You can peel them layers off pretty easy if there's much left. So I'll get this done, and then I'll go out and fire up the grill smoker. and let that come up to temperature. Like I said, I run 250. And that's the temperature that works for me. Now we apply some mustard. Work that all into the crevices. Same as the other sides. Start with the Lowry's. Here usually I go a little bit heavier on the Lowry's and that, just because it'll mix in with that fat and get down through the meat. Then for my pellets, I usually use a combination. They have like a competition series, and then right now I'm using a mesquite pellet in conjunction with that. Turns out pretty good. We get our seasonings from Sam's Club, 36 ounce, like 2 1/4 pounds. Cheaper that way. So now we'll let these sit. I'll wash my hands. And I'll take you out to get the grill going, smoker. Just have So yeah, here's my pit boss. We'll get this set. Gonna push in up to 250. Pellets. Sometimes I use a smoker tube to help get a little more smoke into it. Today I don't have room for that, so I'm not going to do that. Yeah, when you start this thing up, you gotta leave the lid open, otherwise you could have an explosion. I've seen the short on the one time where it blew up. It'll start to smoke once it gets going, and then once all that blue smoke that's coming out goes away, and we'll shut this thing down and we'll let her heat up. See how it smokes? Once it gets up and the fan starts running, or the temp is running, that'll quit, and we'll shut this thing down. Usually, once I get her up to temp, there it's up, running. I'll clean the grates, and then I'll spray it down with either grill cooking spray or pan cooking spray. That way nothing sticks to the grates. So it's starting to look pretty cool. Spray these down. Thanks for watching, folks. We hope you enjoyed and learned something. Have an awesome day. And remember, kids, don't smoke pot, smoke pork.